Hello, star beings, humans, hybrids, aliens, robots, anyone watching this video. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to be talking about how to make the best of this human experience, because whether you like it or not, you're here. You're on planet Earth, so you might as well enjoy it, and here is how. Well, I gotta tune in. That cough was a reminder that I have to check in and make sure that I'm saying exactly what's supposed to be said. Again, all the frequencies that I'm transmitting to you are coming from a 5-dimensional space, which means that love and light frequencies are going through the screen, activating your DNA, upgrading you to your highest potential and your highest timeline of your divine cosmic self. So yes, let's talk about how to best enjoy this human experience, right? Being on planet Earth right now and in the past and in the future, I'm sure, sucks. It's tough. It is not the most enjoyable thing, right? But there are ways that you can embody this experience to make it more enjoyable. And there are ways that I think a lot of people don't really talk about. So I'm really excited to share this information with you. I actually got the inspiration and the download to make this video in my last video about how Earth is an experiment. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already, because it will further give light to what I'm going to talk about in this video. So, this human experience is very temporary. This body that you're in is merely a physical vessel embodying your soul, your spirit, your source. This physical body and this lifetime on Earth is not the end all. It's 100 years at the most of an experience. A lot of other planets, galaxies, and beings define Earth as a school. Right? It's a school that a lot of our souls choose to come to experience lessons that will help to not only evolve our soul and our being, but also work through karma. Earth is a really good place for souls to burn off karma or accumulate karma, whichever way you want to run with it, because it is such a dense, difficult place to be. So oftentimes higher dimensional beings will choose to incarnate on planet Earth because there's a series of lessons that they're going to learn in this human lifetime that will work them through evolution in their soul much faster in a condensed amount of time than if they're in some like higher dimensional, 5-dimensional place, right? And it's not to say that enlightened beings have all this karma they want to burn off or whatever. You know, ascended masters get to a place where they don't have karma anymore and they are true light love frequency. However, Earth is a very one-of-a-kind school because the third dimension is so hard to navigate. The experiences and the lessons that we learn here are above and beyond difficulty than so many other dimensions. And that's what I'm going to get into in this video. So, your soul, chances are, is not from Earth. It was birthed eons ago on another planet in another dimension. And it has chosen to incarnate on Earth at this time for a multitude of reasons, right? Because the Earth is going through this incredible shift right now and your soul wanted to experience it. But above all of that, your soul chose to come to Earth to learn. School, Earth is a school. And your soul is going through lesson after lesson after lesson. And you can reflect on your life in this human experience and notice that there are some lessons and patterns you've had to learn over and over and over and over again. And that's because when your soul comes here, it forgets its heritage. It forgets its knowledge of all of these higher dimensional places. And it gets caught in this like really uncomfortable 3-dimensional reality. And so you forget that you are above all of this physical suffering. So sometimes you have to learn these lessons over and over and over, but nevertheless, you are learning. In every part of your life, you are learning all the time through your successes and through your failures. And one of the most beautiful parts about being human, which is not going to sound beautiful, but it is in a higher dimensional perspective, is the experience of pain and suffering. Because I want to emphasize this. 5-dimensional and above places, you know, when you're in that really high echelon energy of love and light, you don't experience negative emotions. You don't experience pain, heartbreak, crying, regret, hate, anger, fuming. Those emotions don't exist up there. So a lot of times, some souls will come to earth merely to experience suffering, to experience pain, to gain a deeper understanding of the soul. And like I said, we forget when we get to planet Earth, when we're born, we forget our assignments. We forget our missions. We forget why we decided to come here. So all of this pain and suffering feels like fucking terrible and feels like we're caught and feels like it's a hassle and we're forced to experience it. But really, a lot of times your soul chose to experience it. And I'm going to go one step further because I'm getting the clarity to share with you that before you come to Earth, you meet with your council and your teachers and your masters, and you essentially draw up a contract of your life on planet Earth. You decide what you're going to experience based on the growth that you want your soul to have. So a way to, I'm digressing and I'm focusing on pain and suffering, but I think it's really important to communicate to you that, you know, they have expressed that oftentimes someone who has a very difficult human incarnation, they were born with a massive disability or they experienced something very tragic in their life. Oftentimes that soul made that contract to experience that in this lifetime because it catapulted their soul growth. Like sometimes this is their last life in the physical dimension. And after this life, they get to go and stay in the 5-dimensional frequencies indefinitely, right? They get to ascend, but they have to burn off all this karma in this lifetime, or they have to experience all these lessons in this lifetime before they can, you know, have their last hurrah and go on. So when you look at it in that perspective, not to discredit how difficult pain and suffering is, but when you look at it in the perspective that in some way, shape, or form, your soul chose every single lesson you are experiencing, then all of a sudden you become separate from it. You aren't defined and caught in your pain. You realize, I'm supposed to learn from this. Maybe I chose this. Maybe my guides orchestrated this because there's a lesson that my soul needs to learn from this experience so that my soul can evolve to the next level of being. Right? Isn't that a crazy concept? And where we get stuck is when we decide not to learn the lesson the first time. And we learn it over and over and over and over and over. And guess what? If we don't learn it in this lifetime, we're going to have to learn it in our next lifetime, wherever that may be, whether it be on Earth or another planet. But these lessons never end. And our soul evolution never ends. So when you view Earth as a school, and when you view pain and suffering as experiences necessary to evolve your soul, like I said, then you're not so caught by them, by these experiences. Then you are awakened to the fact that they are a lesson and they are an experience. Now for me, I've had to go through many lessons multiple times. And one of the biggest ones being in the types of partners that I attract and how I defined what love was. Like love was always defined by suffering to me for a long time. And I won't get into my own personal sagas, but I kept attracting the people that would evoke those lessons because I wasn't learning the lesson. And I would just keep going after those people and those people and those people until finally in this last experience, I was like, okay, I get it. Thank you. Thank you for showing me this lesson over and over and over. And I'm so sorry that I had to learn it over and over and over. And oftentimes, like, our guides and our higher selves are like shaking their heads or they're laughing. They're like, whenever you decide to learn the lesson, we're here to help you get to the next step. But, you know, you gotta learn the lesson first. So that's something to be aware of too. Like, if you find yourself in a moment or a situation where you are just creating pain, you know, you are caught in that bardo of learning that same lesson over and over and over, you have to have the willpower to learn the lesson and let it go and move on, okay? Because you're going to keep having to learn the lesson until you learn it, until you really, really learn it. All right, so I've talked about pain and suffering a lot, but I just wanted to put into the perspective that a lot of beings come here for that, to experience that. And real quick, in that same vein, sadness and anger. What is with my burping all the time? Sadness, anger, hate, jealousy. These are all emotions that don't exist in higher dimensional places. So in a way, it helps you, I'll speak personally, it helps me find gratitude for those emotions. Instead of letting those emotions control me or overwhelm me, when I'm in them, I can be like, okay, my higher dimensional self, when I'm on Arcturus in the 5th dimension, doesn't get to experience sadness, anger, hate, jealousy, etc. I'm grateful I'm experiencing it now. I'm relaying to my higher self what this feels like, and I'm going to move on now. I'm going to wrap this up. I don't need to stay here. I'm experiencing it. I'm grateful for the experience, and now I'm going to shift. Okay. Right, so let's get into the ways that we can really, really enjoy this human experience. You know, we have the knowledge that Earth is a school, that we are learning, that we are evolving, and that it is very temporary. 100 years in the grand scale of the universe is literally a minute, right? It's a minute. So many souls come here almost and approach it almost like a vacation. You know, or they're going away to boarding school or something, boarding school. I'm slurring my words. Because it's so temporary. It's so quick. And when you die, and I'll do a whole video about what happens after you die, but when you die, you look back on your life and oftentimes you're like, why did I take it so seriously? It was such a short amount of time. 100 years if we're lucky, and that's such a short amount of time. It's like we spend all of our time wrapped up in this saga of me, oh my. But this human experience is supposed to be enjoyed as well. It's supposed to be experienced. Imagine that. The human experience is supposed to be experienced. Human beings are supposed to be. Wild concept. So how can we enjoy this experience? Aside from the pain and the suffering and the lessons in the school, how can we enjoy being human? I know for me, it's taken me a long time to learn this lesson because I've always known that I was from another planet, and for a long time I felt like being on Earth was a punishment. Why the fuck am I here? Especially once I started communicating with my guides, I was like so mad at them, at the reality. I was like, why do you all get to be up there and I have to be down here? I don't understand. Take me to my home planet. But I've really come to appreciate being human in the last couple years, I want to say. It hasn't been a long time, but because it is literally a video game. It's an amusement park, and we get to experience things here on planet Earth that we do not get to experience on our home dimensions, right? So I'm going to go back into this concept of when you're in higher dimensional places, it's pure energy, it's pure love, it's pure light frequency. So you don't even have to be in physical form if you don't want, right? You could literally just be like floating with the vibrations. On Earth, we get to experience physical aspects of being. So we get to experience eating food. In higher dimensional places, on Arcturus, my home planet, we don't eat food. We don't need it. We're light bodies. We're light beings. We don't need any fuel within us because we are fuel already, right? Here, I get to experience food. I get to eat pizza. Are you kidding me? Pizza's so yummy. It's so good. I get to experience chocolate. I get to experience macaroni and cheese. Like, I don't even know. I get to experience all of the incredible things that like spark my taste buds. I get to experience fresh vegetables and salad and all of these things that we do not have on my home planet. So next time you go eat some food, appreciate it. Embellish every single bite, every single taste, because again, this is a temporary experience. So you're only going to get to experience food for a short amount of time, and then you're on to the next. Enjoy it. Experience it. We get to experience sex. Oh my gosh. Making love in the physical form. That is a gift in itself. You guys, on these higher dimensional planets, we can create life, we can procreate without having sex. In fact, a lot of other higher dimensional beings do not have sex. They simply can think and create, right? Instant manifestation. So beings will choose to create other life beings and no fornication is involved. We get to experience that here. We get to experience orgasms. We get to experience touching someone else's skin and sweating with them and breathing with them and lusting for them. All of these juicy human experiences. Hugging in its simplest form. We get to experience hugging. We get to experience love in physical form. So if I love someone, I can go give them a hug. I can go give them a kiss. If I love someone, I have the words to express it to them. Speaking words. That's a human experience. On these other planets, they communicate telepathically. So a lot of them don't even have mouths. Like, we get to speak. We get to be divine energy in physical incarnation. That is an incredible gift. And I think we've lost sight of that as humans. We treat life like it's a fucking burden. And that's because society and the Matrix and whatever has created this paradigm that makes it very enjoyable, but that's all collapsing now. But like tomorrow when you wake up, think about it in that way. Like, whoa, your soul's operating in this body, and like, whoa, you get to look at sunshine. That's a wild thing too. Like, when you are light, when you're in like 5-dimensional space or you know, other planets or whatever, and you are light frequency, you can't see light, you just are light. We get to see the sunshine. We get to see the sunrise. We get to look at the moon. We get to look at the stars. We get to experience all of this. It really, truly is a video game, an amusement park, like I said earlier. And you have a ride. Not every soul gets to come to Earth. There's a waiting list to come to Earth, okay? That's a whole other topic to talk about, but so many souls want to come here and experience it. You got the ticket. You got the golden ticket. You got to come here. So the next time you're feeling like, I fucking hate Earth and I don't want to be here, snap out of that, shift out of that, and remind yourself that you get to be here. This is an experience you chose, and you were granted that opportunity to be here. And it's a miracle. So you get to eat, you get to have sex, you get to hug, you get to kiss, you get to speak, you get to look at nature. Nature! Oh my goodness, we get nature, we get Gaia, we get this beautiful planet Earth, we get to go hug trees if we want, we get to sit on the grass and feel it against our skin. In other places they have like, what's it called? Machines. What are the machines that are used? Like virtual projection machines, or like, I want to say assimilators. I don't know the word and it's not coming through, but like they just get to digitally experience or like view nature. you know, just to like, as if they're putting on virtual reality glasses and like seeing what Earth is like. We get to experience Earth in the real, in the physical, right? So what else? We get to enact our passion in the physical. If I want to sing, I get to sing. Every time I want to sing, I can sing. Every time I want to smile, I can smile. I get to enact the passion within my being, within my soul in physical form. I get to share my soul with others as an individual who is separate but who is also connected. It is a beautiful thing to be human. Okay, even pooping and peeing, having babies, having a period, bleeding, all of these like not so visually appeasing things are experiences, right? And they're incredible because you don't always get them. You won't always have them. So no matter how crazy things become on this planet, you are still in this human experience, and you get to live it to the fullest, however you so choose. Go put your bare feet on the ground. Go eat some ice cream. Go give the people you love a really deep, close hug. Express how you feel about others through your words. Hug yourself, love this body. I cannot stress enough, like, what a gift it is to be human. And I know it sucks to be human too. It sucks. Okay, it's hard. And you know, our higher dimensional soul who chose to come here forgets how beautiful this gift is because it is so hard to be here. Right? We forget how special it is to be here. But I'm sharing this information and it's so simple. It's so simple. It's not rocket science. I'm sure you've thought about this before. But for anyone who needs to hear this, for anyone who's feeling like life has just got you bogged down and you don't want to be human, I get it. I was suicidal a few years ago. I didn't want to be on the planet. I did not want to be human. Okay? But when you start approaching life as an experience, as a school, as a lesson you are learning, as a curriculum that you won't always be in, you're going to graduate soon and leave and go somewhere else. As you approach life as an experience that you get to have, not that you're forced to have, simple moments can become more enjoyable. Eating a meal can become something you become grateful for and conscious of. Making love, expressing your passion, playing guitar, going for a run, even exercising, guys. Like, it doesn't have to suck. It doesn't have to be this thing that you're like, oh, I have to do it because I have to lose weight. What if you did it because you get to do it? Because your body gets to move? Because guess what? Your soul is telling your arms to go like this and they're just doing it. And that's amazing! Because your soul in another planet doesn't have arms. Doesn't even have a physical form. What? So if anything, I just encourage you to find moments to be excited to be human. Because as hard as it is such a beautiful divine experience, and it is such a temporary experience. And one of the strongest things that they've communicated to me, because I take life so seriously, like I'm all about work, I'm all about like deadlines and never having enough time, blah, 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 blah. And they're constantly reminding me, like, when you die and you look back at your life, how much of it did you decide to enjoy? Because you act like you have forever, but you don't on this planet. You don't have forever. And life isn't really that long. And even if you live until you're 104, it's not that much time. You don't want to die and look back at your life on a movie screen almost and be like, what? I got to love that person and I didn't express it as much as I could have. I had that passion in me and I didn't release it for the world. I could eat chocolate every day and I didn't enjoy it. I had this beautiful body and I abused it and shit-talked it every day. What? Don't have that be your experience. I don't want it to be mine. Every time I'm taking things too seriously, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm at an amusement park. I can chill the fuck out. I can enjoy this. You know, I can find moments of levity and peace and love and excitement and happiness and gratitude. So I share that with you. I hope it helps in some way. And yeah, let's just get excited to be alive together, shall we? Because as we get excited to be alive, even through the pain and the suffering, we're lifting our vibrations, and then we're lifting the vibrations of the planet. It's all interconnected. And even next time you're crying, you can have a moment, even no matter how hard the pain is, you can have a moment and be like, whoa, I get to cry. That's pretty cool. Some beings in other dimensions don't get to cry. Some beings in other dimensions feel pain and they have no way to release it because they have no physical body, right? So all of it is an experience, all of it is a lesson, and all of it is to be enjoyed. All right. I think that is all for now. May you have a wonderful, enjoyable human experience. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.